This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
I'm kind of on the outs with Little People of America.
Wow.
So I tried getting on a dating site once, and they would not let me on there. Because I am not a little person.
And co-host Marnie Winfield.
You're tapering yourself down from your hangover or whatever. Oh no, when that started rolling into a whole another entire day of drinking, it just didn't stop.
It is the 3rd of December, 2021. My name is Corey Winfield.
My name is Marnie Winfield.
This is the 217 Recovery Podcast. This is what all your friends have been telling you about. Glad you could listen. We talk about recovery, we talk about life, we talk about movies, we talk about my cat. We talk about it all, man. Nothing is off limits. Nothing.
So we're coming to on a Friday.
Yeah, because last night I didn't feel well.
Yeah.
So I'm still recovering from my gallbladder removal and then the acute pancreatitis. I'm so glad that didn't have to go down my throat.
Yeah.
With the thing.
Yeah.
To look for gallstones. Oh, man. I was not looking forward to that. But anyway, yeah. So last night I was watching the football game and I couldn't even finish it. I just was like, I just want to go to bed. I want to go to sleep. It hurt. My stomach just hurts.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh, someone's calling. That's cool.
I'm sorry.
So
I'm
you have
usually
to
really
say.
good about that.
You're never really good about that.
I'm always good about that.
That's fine. We'll just start over.
No, let's not. People know that people's phones ring.
Yeah. Anyway, but now I'm thrown off.
It's okay. No, I'm glad that if you're not in a good mood to do it and you're not feeling well, it's not the time to do it.
I don't feel well today either. Honestly, it feels like somebody punched me in my stomach, but like with a knife or with like brass knuckles with like razor blades on the end. Like,
Huh.
That's what it feels like. I mean, I assume that's what it would feel like.
But you're getting better though, right?
I am. And my mama sent me a message last night. I don't know if she's been listening to the podcast, hear me gripe and complain and whine. But she was like, remember, the hospital might act like, oh, it's just a minor surgery, but it's still, you had an organ removed from your body. Mm-hmm. And it takes up to 6 weeks for that to heal, and the other stuff that's coming along with it is stuff that's also going to take your body time to heal. And I guess, I'm getting better each day, but it's not like a drastic better. I don't wake up and go, yay, jump up and kick my heels or nothing like that.
Right.
But if you'd, a week or 2 weeks ago, whatever, yeah, I'm better than then. But it just still hurts. And I don't know, it's frustrating.
Yeah, well, you're making progress. That's what's important.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are probably like, yeah, Corey, you getting them pain pills? Answer to that question is yes. But it's different because it's such a low dose. It takes away the pain, and it's pretty much about it. When I broke my ribs, I don't know if I talked about this, but when they put me on hydrocodone and whoo, man, I felt buzzed when I took that. And so I would take one and then I wouldn't feel buzzed. So I'd take two. I don't know if I probably took 3 at one time, but it was different. Then my mindset was different too. I thought, wow, yeah, I can get a buzz doing this, but with these, I'm not, and I don't get a buzz. It just takes the pain away a little bit. And it allows me to go places to get out of bed, and not be like, oh. So I had a follow up with the doctor today, and she was just like, hang in there. It's going to get better. And your blood work looks good. Your liver enzymes are perfect. I mean, everything's looking good. So that's a good sign.
It's just about healing. Mm-hmm. That's all. That's what needs to happen. So, just give it time.
Another appointment with her next week. It's part of adulting and part of being in recovery is following up.
Yep.
The old me probably we would not have. So it's little things. And I had a call from my insurance today too. And they're like, oh, I got a question to ask. And he asked me about my medications. And I told him what I was taking, for high blood pressure and acid reflux or whatever. And he asked me if I was taking the pills that I'm supposed to. I said, yeah. And he asked if I'm taking something and it doesn't work, do I just stop taking it? Or if it makes me worse, do I stop taking it? And I said, no. I used to, but now I talk to my doctor about it. It's those little things that really help. And it just, I don't know if that's just me learning a lesson from the stuff that I've all of a sudden quit and then had like crazy withdrawals and stuff from. I don't know. But you just learn to kind of like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. And they say this stuff for a reason.
Yeah.
Don't just stop taking it. You know, doctors sometimes will cut you down or but just let them know is my point. And actually go to the doctor when you have a pain. And I'm talking to my friend Brooks right now. if he would just go to the doctor. And I know it's scary if you haven't been to the doctor in a long time. All of a sudden something hurts and you're afraid. And especially Brooks is kind of like us. You know, the drinking flows heavy sometimes. And you know that's not good for you. And I remember when I went to the doctor when I had that huge like stomach pain and it was so bad. And I was freaking out, man, when my coworker called me jaundice and I looked that up and it was talking about liver failure. And I was like, oh my God. But I went and yeah, if I wouldn't have went that day, I would have died in my sleep, the doctor said. So go
to the doctor.
It's scary. You're going to hear things that you don't want to hear. And I don't know if I was ashamed or embarrassed because I knew that the doctor would probably say, you got to quit drinking.
That's exactly why you didn't want to go.
Or you got to cut back, or you're a bad person, you're an alcoholic. You know, I was afraid that time was going to come up and I didn't really want to deal with it either. So yeah, that was probably a huge reason why I didn't go, is because I knew they were going to tell me I couldn't drink anymore. And my brain was like, no, alcohol's my friend. I need it to live. And my body was saying that too, because it kind of did need it to live.
Yeah.
Didn't know what to do without it. Oh, it's so scary. Alcohol's so dangerous. It really is.
Yeah, it is.
And people who use other drugs, those are dangerous too. You know, I just can't really speak on those as much as I can, of course, alcohol, but it's scary, man. I see these new Bud Light commercials and everything's a party and they got like tie-dye on them and it's great. I seriously, like, we should make a fake commercial of like what a true alcoholic has to go through.
Yeah.
Like 6:55 waiting outside for them to open. And you're just shaking.
Oh man.
You know, going through your change to see if you have enough.
Yeah. And I know what commercial you're talking about, because that one,
The Bud Light one or whatever.
Yeah.
Seltzer.
Something. There's always something fancy and new and whatever. But like, well, first off, they've started to figure out now that these beer companies that only ever made beer can now can cater to the people that want like frou-frou-y stuff. So hence this thing, which I think that stuff is the scariest, because do you remember Zima?
Yeah.
Okay. That tastes like Sprite, really?
Kind of.
I think it for the most part tasted like it did not taste like booze, really.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, I know what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
in terms of like gateway drinking,
yeah.
that stuff for me is like just screams problematic. Especially, and they make it all like all colorful and fun, and like it's the same stuff in the can, but like look at this new tie-dye brand of what that's been out for a long time. Yeah. And I think this just shows you how much I pay attention to stuff like that still to this day.
I think they're marketing to kids.
Yeah. Teenagers, kids, young people.
I'm calling the governor today.
It totally is, though.
Calling my mom's governor, and I'm going to let her know.
I mean, you don't think people that are like, you know, just throwing dinner parties are going to be buying that. I don't know. The whole marketing thing that's behind pushing alcohol is just sickening.
And it just goes by like nobody notices. But then vaping, oh my God.
I know.
It's so bad. Sure, it's not good for you. But I'm telling you right now, it's not as bad as alcohol. And people just, oh yeah, but you know, you can drink it responsibly.
Yeah.
No, I can't. And it's not even about responsibly. It's addicting. You know, you have enough of it, you become addicted. It's fact. You know, but I'm the bad guy because I like something that made me forget about my problems for a minute. You know, because it gave me a buzz. Yeah, whoa. No, that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to hook me.
Yeah.
And that's why they have to pay so much. They're supposed to anyway. They're supposed to pay back to. But then I never got a check from them. Yeah, that's
No,
where it's
we don't
supposed to
see.
go.
We don't see the fruits of that.
No,
at
who
all.
knows? Governor Whitmer's probably fixing roads with it. Who knows?
Yeah.
Or just buying a plane, or who knows? I don't know. Let's not get into that today. But yeah, so yesterday, anyway, back to the whole deal on we didn't do a podcast yesterday. I didn't feel all that well, and lately it's been like, you know, we don't have to do one. You know, because before I've been really sick, and I've done them before, I think. I don't know, I usually don't get sick, but no matter what, I would get them done, you know, the day that I was supposed to. Of course, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday is when we're supposed to. That's the schedule. But now it's like, man, if I don't feel well, like, what am I going to get on and say even? You know, like, hey, I don't feel well. It feels like somebody punched me in the stomach with like brass knuckles that had razor blades on the end.
Kind of like your lead in today.
Yeah, kind of like exactly what I'm talking about now. But I don't know. Figured I would throw that out there.
No, for sure. I mean, and you know, it's one of those things where, and lots of times people don't even listen right away anyway. So, you know, it's the beauty of it. Mm-hmm. Listen to this podcast whenever you want.
500 plus other ones.
Yeah, right.
If you're
Like,
not
there's
feeling this
enough.
one, if you're like, man, this one's just not working for me today.
Yeah,
Well, just go back to another one.
we ain't mad at you.
That's how it works, man. Can't all be heroes.
And I don't think anybody is. I think people understand too.
Yeah, and I probably mentioned this too, that we have the most podcasts by recovery.
Yeah, you did say that. Is it by a
podcast
lot?
company. I'd say a couple hundred.
Wow.
I looked up the podcasts that I know about that are about recovery, and they were like 300, and we're like killing that. So, yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and announce it that we are. I don't think that's. I wanted this one.
Okay.
Yes, we have the most recovery podcasts out of everyone in the world on the earth.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Figure I'd throw that out there. So if you're listening right now, you're listening to the podcast that has the most episodes.
There you go.
We keep it going, man. And we talk about stuff sometimes. No, I do want to talk about relationships. I know we've hit on this once before. But I saw on Facebook this guy who actually his name's Preston. We'll just make it out there. Let's throw him out there like that. Preston. Going to have him on the podcast soon, either tomorrow or next week. And I think he's dealing with a little bit of relationship issues, and he's kind of making it clear on Facebook. And he posted a question today that was just for men to answer. Did you really dream of like getting married one day? It's something like that. And I answered him, yeah. But I thought that I was never going to be able to stay sober enough to find anyone. And it wasn't until I stopped looking and started focusing on my own sobriety, my own recovery, that somebody came along. And that I also stopped settling. And I wasn't just going to be with somebody to be with somebody. I wanted to be with somebody who would treat me how I wanted to be treated, with respect, and somebody who would love me. And that's what I waited for. And that's what I got. You know, it just to, oh man, I got 6 months sober, I should be with somebody. No, that's not the way you want to look at it. Because what you're going to do is you're going to go out and you're going to get with the wrong person, and you're going to get mad, and they're going to drink or use or whatever. And you're going to end up doing the same thing. if you find someone with, recovery or short-term recovery, and there's a lot of people out there that claim to be, but aren't. And that's something that you just have to be careful of. It's up to you to pick somebody who's worth your love, and if somebody finds pleasure in your company, if somebody wants to be around you, then that's great, but it doesn't mean that you have to make that the person.
Right.
There's still some compatibility issues, or I don't want to say issues, but compatibility factor that you need to run down on your checklist, but I personally couldn't see myself dating somebody who was not in recovery at that time. And I just thought it would be too hard, like if I was with somebody who wasn't in recovery and they left a bottle over at my house or something, like I would drink it one day, and I don't want that. I don't want that around, and it's not fair for me to tell them they can't do something, and just be selective is my advice to Preston and people that might be going through the same thing. Just being with somebody to be with somebody.
It's not the answer.
No, it can be very dangerous.
Well, the other thing that I think about a lot is that in early recovery, when your biggest priority is supposed to be yourself, and relationships are a lot of work. I mean, especially I think that like even the dating piece of it is a lot of work too, getting to know somebody else. And if you're just figuring out you, then how are you supposed to present, yourself to somebody else? And then it's it's supposed to be a giving relationship in terms of, your time, your energy, money, your, love and your emotions, all those things. You're going to have to dispense some of those to the other person. And if you're not solid with where you're at, it's kind of a bad time to do that. And that's why I think they decide, or whoever they is, the they of the world, but is people recommend to wait a year before you try to get into a romantic relationship. Because there's a lot of stuff we got to get figured out.
Mm-hmm. And I say to that, it doesn't matter. You can have 10 years. Like, for instance, I'll take you for example, when you were doing your nudge by the judge thing that you had, and what was that, year, 2 years? How long?
It was 2 years long program, yeah.
You weren't ready to date somebody.
Absolutely not. I was not.
I mean, I'm sure you got yours, but I'm just saying, like, to sit down and really find somebody that is good for you and that would love you the way you need to be loved and what you deserve, you weren't ready for that. So, like, just to have 9 months or just to have a year, like, yeah, I can do it. No, I don't think so. And I had to learn the hard way, too, because I was like, man, F that. I'll date who I want and blah, blah, blah. But then I would settle, or, it's like, oh, this person likes me. Okay, cool. Then, yeah, this is great. Somebody likes me. Yeah, well, they're going to like you because you're sober and you're doing the right things. But it doesn't mean you're ready. Like you said, you have to be in that space. You have to be good with yourself in 9 months. Sure, some people, it all depends on how much you're doing, what you're doing. And, I pushed you away. I was like, no, because I thought I wasn't good enough. I thought that I couldn't give you what you wanted or what you needed. So I was like, no, can't do it. And you were like, get over here. And
is that what I said?
I think so. And it made me stop and realize, like, okay, I got her ass now. No, but when you were pregnant and it was just like, wow, like, okay, this changed everything. And you weren't like, well, gonna get this taken care of. See ya. Like, I don't know. It just took us to a different level of the relationship, because I think you could see how much I really did love you, and I was just afraid to say it. You know, I almost did a couple times, but I was taking it slow though, and I didn't want to hurt you. I didn't want to hurt myself, and I just figured that I couldn't give you what you needed anyway. I was broke. Just quit my job.
Well, not all women are about money, believe it or not.
Managing a sober living home. Like what was I supposed to offer? You can't spend the night, you know, like.
Well, I mean, so full disclosure, yes, you did. What do you want to call? Release me from the relationship? Is that how you want to call?
I guess.
Call it?
Yeah, it's just like, I can't give you what you need.
And I was like, okay, can we, all right. Then we found out shortly after that I was pregnant. And truth be told is I actually said straight up that it's okay if you still don't want to be together. I'm okay with that. Because trying to force somebody into a relationship is not the answer. It's not healthy, and trapping somebody in a relationship is not the answer.
Got your ass.
So don't do that. That's unhealthy and just wrong and unfair to you and whoever it is that you're trying to entrap. You'll never be happy. So I did give you another out. Just truth be told, people. Even though you're like, oh, they're so cute and adorable on the podcast most of the time. Yeah, there was a minute. He walked away.
I did, because like I said, I didn't want to hurt you, and I didn't want to hurt myself, and I didn't think I was good enough. And then once I trapped your ass. No, but it really made me realize it, because I knew that I really did care for you, like, a lot, and I was sad. You know, Tyrone saw me walking around the house, and he saw me moping, and he's like, man, people like Marty, you know, the girls like that, like women like that, like those are the ones you gotta keep, man. And I'm like, I know. I know, man. But
Oh, thanks, Tyrone.
yeah, Tyrone knew, he could see, and I could see too. I just was busy. I don't know, there's a million excuses I could throw out there, but again, it all happened the way it needed to. And, you know, I feel like you being pregnant was like God's way of like snapping me back, like, get over here. Like, I put you on this road. You asked for and prayed for, you know, this, and here, like, what do you have to do, Winfield? You know, like, I don't know how to fix it. But in my heart, I knew that you were special. So, and they say if you let it go and it comes back, then, yeah, it's true.
Yep, there's truth to that.
And it wasn't like I stopped seeing you to go see somebody else, or it had nothing to do with anybody else. It had nothing to do with that, and just my insecurities, I guess. So
Yeah.
But everybody's different. Everybody goes through different things at different times. But there were times earlier when I was struggling in recovery, when I couldn't even get 6 months under my belt. And here I am trying to go rush into relationships and see people and date people. And there's no bueno. It just wasn't good. And, you know, I thought, well, I got 4 months, you know, I know about myself now, man, you know, but no, I didn't. So just give yourself some time. But it seems like forever, especially when you're alone and you start getting sad, and, you know, you think, yeah, but sorry, I'm just closing the windows. If I could just be with somebody else, you know, then I wouldn't be miserable, and I want to get out of sober living. Or, you know, you start looking at other people as not stepping stones, but like somebody to use almost.
Yeah. Oh,
you know,
that's
like,
exactly what it is.
And you've seen that happen probably just with the people that are at the houses with you. You know, I've seen it happen with people while I was in sober living, that, I'm going to move in with her, you know. And I think this one time this woman was in recovery as well, and she had a couple of years, so she said. And again, people will say they're in recovery and sometimes they're not. But she said she had a couple of years, and I think the guy had 4 months, and he's like, yeah, we're going to just live together, man. I love her, bro. And
disaster.
No. Yeah, it was a huge disaster. And then come find out she wasn't in recovery and just said a bunch of stuff that he wanted to hear, and it was her house. So she ended up kicking him out, and he was living in his truck, and he was calling me just hammered drunk, and it's just like, bro, like,
Yeah.
okay, so you made a bad choice, like you don't have to keep going though on this path. You can stop it now and let's just turn this around, and then that takes time.
Yeah.
So like you're right back to where you're going to be right back to where you started whenever you want to stop. But it's just like, oh, I had to go through this again, all because you thought you were good enough and you were going to move in with her, but really you were just going to use her for a place to stay, and then it blows up in your face. I don't know if that's a karma thing or...
I don't know, but I've seen it a lot.
Yeah, have you?
Yeah.
And we got to experience it on our own sometimes. You know, I had friends, family members telling me no, like, don't do it, bro. Nope. It's how we learn.
Yeah.
By doing. And a lot of us probably already know this, but we got to figure it out on our own. Even the drinking, that's why I went to rehab so many times. I would learn just a little bit more and think, that's it. Figured it out. Good to go. And then I'd leave and I didn't have it figured out. But I had to do it every time, I had to go the way it did for me to finally, creep up on 3 years. It's coming up in 12 days.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
That is nuts.
Lots of milestones in this month.
Mm-hmm. Got an anniversary coming up in 9.
Mm-hmm.
Would you get me?
I'm not telling you.
See, should anniversary gifts be secrets?
Why wouldn't they be?
Why do I have to surprise you?
I guess you don't have to. Then you could say that about anything. Why do birthday presents have to be surprises?
Because it's your birthday.
It's the same thing.
But I mean, I would rather go, hey, honey, let's go to
let's do that.
Paris.
Then. Okay, no, I don't want to go to Paris.
Okay, let's go to Mexico. All right, like whatever.
Uh-huh.
And we could plan the trip together.
No, I think that's a great idea.
Instead of going, boom, we're going to Afghanistan. And
no, so something like that. Yeah, you'd want to plan that with your partner. You don't want to just drop a present that's really not discussed. So next time if you're thinking about taking me on vacation, just let's talk about it.
Okay. I'm not though. Not this time. You're smiling. Like,
I know.
Oh my God.
No, I didn't think that we were.
We're going to Indiana.
I have things to do. I have plans.
I've always wanted to go to Indiana. No, you've actually I've taken you to Indiana before. Check that one off the list. This time it's Ohio.
Baby, pack your bags. We're going to Ohio.
Ugh, no. But I just don't know. I don't think it should be such a secret. Wouldn't you? Because I already told you that. I was like, well, what I'm getting you, I'm making it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want to see me make it?
I guess so. Yeah.
Or would you want to see the finest?
No, I don't know. I think probably just the final. I don't know. Because you've made me things before, and I don't know how. I don't know. It's kind of neat when they're all the way done.
I don't know. It's just something I was thinking about. Another thing I was thinking about, you cleaned my bathroom the other day. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
It's love. Mm-hmm. And
it needed it.
How does the urine get under the bowl? I'm like talking like the actual bowl. Like, how does it get like under the bowl?
What are you talking about? Like the lid?
No, like the actual bowl. Like on the, okay, you're on, look at the floor. Boom, you're at the floor. You go to the base of the toilet. Okay, there's pee around there sometimes. Then you go up the front of the toilet, the bowl, and then underneath. And then like, how the hell does pee get there?
Probably because you're peeing from standing up, so it's splashing up off of the water or off the side of the bowl.
To under the bowl?
I don't know. I don't know.
We need to call Mythbusters. It's not a myth, though. It's a fact.
These are things that you're worried about?
I was just thinking about it.
Oh. Probably just means you need to clean your toilet more often.
Well, yeah, but I was sick and ill. Someone gave me COVID. Anyway, I'm not feeling so hot right now. I'm actually feeling very nauseous.
Okay.
So probably should end this.
Stop talking about toilet bowls.
I don't know. We didn't really talk too much about anything, but
It's
hey,
okay.
we made up for yesterday's podcast, I guess.
That's right.
So there you go. Appreciate you listening. 217recovery.com is our website. Going to be in Gaylord on the 9th. Gaylord on the 9th. Talking at the Fan. Get together. There's another word for it. Forum, I believe is what it is. Details on the events at 217recovery.com. Check that out, and also hit us up on Facebook. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. Win a bunch of free shit from 217 Recovery. Go to the app or the website, 217recovery.com.